Hi. Today I will talk about the multi-language extension for Visual Studio for Mac and Windows. Here you will see the README file for the extension and also where you can download it for Visual Studio for Mac, and if you want to use it for Windows you will find it in the marketplace for extension for Visual Studio for Windows. This extension has four main functions, and that's of course synchronizing the Resx files, translation of the text by using Google Translate or Microsoft Translate. You can export it to the external stakeholder and also import it for external stakeholders. They also have a feature that makes it easy to find unused translation and keep your translations files clean. So to install it for Mac, you go to releases, you download the file, you're going to the Windows, which is the Mac window, and if you select Visual Studio and go to extensions, you will have the extension manager, and from the extension manager you will be able to install it by clicking install from file and select the MPAC file you just downloaded. After installation is done, you can close this one and you need to restart Visual Studio for Mac for Visual Studio to be able to load the extension. After you have done that and you are open Visual Studio for Mac again and go to Tools, you will find an option that says Multilanguage Settings, and that will present this dialog for you. In this dialog you will be able to set the master language. This is the language where we are translating from, and you can choose what sort of export file type to use. In this case we have selected Excel. We also support CSV file. The comment is if you want to have the comment or not in the master file. The comment field in the Resx files are used to keep track of the status of the translation, and that is used in the different target language files I will show you later on. You can choose to use Google Translate or Microsoft Translate. This is a Microsoft Translation Cognitive Service and is run in Azure. So let's close that one and take a look on the project structure. This is a standard structure. We have the app resource file. This is what I will refer to as the master file, where we have our translations and or language and in English. We have a French file, we have a Swedish and a Norwegian file, as you can see also in the left panel here. The only thing that is important when we work with this translation extension is that we keep the name in this format, the standard format for different language, and that has the same name. But it's quite okay to name it like resources, language resources dot. Let's keep the same name of all files. So let's pretend we need to add a new phrase to our app. Let's say that we type YouTube is nice for videos. I like to have my translations like this when I refer to them in the code later on. That's why I type it that way. You can have your own naming convention. And of course we also need a sentence. Like this, and now we have saved this master file. Now we will be able to synchronize or translate this over to the other language files. So by right-clicking the master file, we have four options. We have synchronize all Resx files with this one. This will create the same data node in the other SAML files. If we choose translate, we will synchronize and translate that node in all the other files. We have also export and list unused translation. I will go through them later on in this video. Let's start with synchronize. Now we have synchronized it, so let's take a look in the French file, and you will see now we have the same over here in the French file, and we have a comment that says this one is new. So now we know that it has not been translated, or it's not final. That could also be the state. If you have some external stakeholder that check your translations, or you do it by yourself. Just to be sure, let's check the Swedish file also, and we will see we have also here synchronized the data node. So let's say that we also need to translate it. Then we right click and it shows translate. Now we will use the cognitive service on Microsoft in this case to translate it, and you will see that it will be translated to French and also to Swedish. So now we have the translation done, but let's say that we need to change something in the sentence. As you see, we have added and music here now, and by right clicking the name and sync and translate, we will update that translation in the other language files. So press, and hopefully we will see the update. Yes, we have the update over here. We have needs review. We have also updated in the Swedish file. So now to make this for exporting it, we just right click the master file and select export. This will create a new file. As you can see down here, it's Excel file. This XLSX file we can send to our stakeholder to validate that translation. And for now we had, we go back to the French file, we only have one row that needs review, so in this file we will only see one row. Let's double click it to open it, and now we can see this Excel file where the stakeholder can validate the translated from the source language. And in this case we could say that it's good, so this should have status final, and we save it. And now if we go back to the Visual Studio and right click that file, we will be able to import that translation from the stakeholder. So let's do that, and now we should see that the comment under the YouTube is nice for videos should change from needs review to final. Yes, good. So now we have made all the steps that you will be needing to do to keep your language files in sync. Let's say then we have one more feature to show, and that is the cleaning of translation. When years go on and you change your app, you start to have a lot of translations in your files that are not in use anymore. So if you right click the master file, you can search through the whole solution for the translations that are not used anywhere in the CS file or SAML file. So let's test that one. And as you see now, this is quite small solution, this example, and you see over here the search, you can see that we have 7 translations, 2 of them are not used. Then we can select if we want to remove them directly, or we just want to show them in the search window below. And here you have those two. One. So that was the last feature to show you. You liked this video and you can give it a thumbs up. And thank you.